Goodbye proteinuria. Top 4 low-potassium fruits seniors must have, and 3 you should never touch. Let me tell you about David, a 71-year-old retired teacher who refused to accept that dialysis was his only future. When David's nephrologist told him his kidney function had dropped to 38% with significant proteinuria, the doctor's words were blunt. At this rate, we need to start preparing you for dialysis within the next 2 years. David sat in that exam room, his wife gripping his hand, and he felt the weight of those words settle over him like a heavy blanket. But instead of surrendering, he quietly said,
"There has to be something I can do."
David started digging. He read studies. He joined online forums. He talked to a renal dietitian. And he made one deceptively simple change. Every single morning, he ate a cup of fresh blueberries with his low-sodium oatmeal. He swapped his usual plantain snack, which he learned was dangerously high in potassium, for a handful of raspberries. Nothing extreme. No expensive supplements. Just consistently choosing the right fruits every single day. For the first few weeks, David didn't feel much different. But by month 2, something shifted. The bone-deep fatigue that had made every afternoon unbearable started lifting. He could work in his garden again without needing a nap afterward. By month 3, his wife noticed the swelling in his ankles had improved significantly. His pants fit better. And his blood pressure, which had been stubbornly high despite medication, became easier to control. 6 months later, David walked back into his nephrologist's office for his follow-up labs. He felt nervous but hopeful. The doctor pulled up the results, studied them quietly, then looked up at David with something close to surprise.
I think we have something here.
Your kidney function is holding steady at 39%. It hasn't dropped further. Your proteinuria has come down from 920 milligrams per day to 740. That's a meaningful reduction.
These numbers tell me we've slowed the progression. For someone at your stage, that's a real win.
David felt something he hadn't felt in 2 years. Control. Not a cure, he understood his kidneys weren't going to magically heal. But for the first time since his diagnosis, he wasn't just passively watching his health decline. He was actively fighting back, and it was working. Was it only the fruit? No. David had also tightened up his sodium intake, stayed consistent with his blood pressure medications, and worked with his dietitian on protein portions. But here's what's undeniable. The fruits David chose weren't random. He chose fruits that research says actually work to protect kidneys. Before we jump into today's list, I want to hear from you. Have you been struggling with proteinuria and wondering if something as simple as eating the right fruits could actually make a difference? Or does it sound too good to be true that a handful of berries or a slice of lemon might help protect your kidneys? Drop a quick comment below and let me know. Are you optimistic that food can help, or are you skeptical? Your honest thoughts help me create content that truly serves you. Today, we're breaking down 4 kidney protective fruits backed by real research, the same types David was eating, plus 3 common fruits that could be silently working against you if you're dealing with proteinuria or chronic kidney disease, or CKD for short. Just so you know, everything in this video is grounded in peer-reviewed research, completely free from marketing bias or miracle cure claims. We've sifted through the science so you can make smart, informed decisions about your health. Before we dive in, I need to say this clearly. I'm sharing research-based nutritional guidance, not medical advice. Kidney disease varies enormously from person to person. Your potassium levels, your medications, your specific stage, all of these shape what's safe for you. Please use this information as a starting point for conversation with your healthcare team, not as a replacement for their personalized guidance. Now, let's talk about what you need to know. 3 fruits that secretly trigger proteinuria. 3. Tamarind. You might know tamarind as that tangy kick in Worcestershire sauce or that tangy glaze on BBQ ribs. If you're using a commercial bottled sauce with just a hint of tamarind, you're generally fine. The amounts are diluted enough. But when you start cooking with tamarind paste or concentrate at home, especially if you're dealing with proteinuria, we need to have a conversation. Let's start with the fruit itself. Raw tamarind pulp contains about 628 milligrams of potassium per 100 grams. That's already higher than a banana at 422 milligrams per medium fruit. Most kidney patients are already avoiding bananas because they're considered high potassium. Well, tamarind packs even more. But here's where it gets tricky. Most of us aren't using fresh tamarind pods. We're reaching for that jar of dark, sticky paste or concentrated block in the Asian grocery aisle. These products are made by cooking down the pulp, removing water, and creating what's essentially a potassium-dense syrup. 1 tablespoon of homemade tamarind paste contains about 42 milligrams of potassium. That might sound modest, but most recipes call for 2 to 3 tablespoons, and that single spoonful is just the base for your marinade, soup, or curry. Before you know it, you've added 125 to 180 milligrams of potassium to a dish, and that's before counting the other ingredients. Why does this matter for your kidneys? When your kidneys work well, they flush excess potassium through urine within hours. But as kidney function declines, especially from stage 3 CKD onward, that filtering slows down. The excess potassium builds up in your blood instead of clearing out. Your normal blood potassium should stay between 3.5 and 5.0 millimoles per liter. When it climbs above 5.5, your heart cells struggle to reset properly between beats. Above 6.0, the rhythm irregular irregular. Above 7.0, you're in territory where the heart's electrical system can fail entirely. This dangerously high potassium level is also called hyperkalemia, and it's why every milligram counts when you're managing kidney disease with proteinuria. So when you're managing a renal diet with maybe 2,000 milligrams of daily potassium budget, spending 85 milligrams on 2 tablespoons of seasoning might not be your smartest move, especially when there are tangy alternatives that deliver flavor without the mineral weight. Instead of that heavy tamarind base, use apple cider vinegar or fresh lemon juice. They give you brightness and tang without the concentrated minerals. For every tablespoon of tamarind your recipe calls for, try 1.5 tablespoons of lemon juice mixed with a tiny pinch of brown sugar to mimic that sweet-sour balance. But potassium isn't the only concern here. Some commercial tamarind products, especially sweetened pastes, can have added sodium, sometimes 50 to 100 milligrams per tablespoon. Always check your label if you're watching salt intake alongside kidney health. Who can still enjoy tamarind? If you're in stage 1 or 2 CKD with normal potassium levels and minimal proteinuria, an occasional teaspoon dissolved in a large pot of soup, serving 6 to 8 people, is unlikely to cause trouble. But from stage 3 onward, especially if your latest labs show potassium creeping toward 5.0, it's wiser to lean on those vinegar and citrus alternatives. 2. Plantains. In the grocery store, plantains look like larger, greener bananas, but on the dinner table they often play the role of potatoes. Whether you enjoy them as sweet maduros or grab a bag of crunchy plantain chips, thinking they are a healthy vegetable alternative, they seem wholesome. But before you take another bite, especially if you're dealing with proteinuria or trying to slow kidney decline, there is a physical property of this fruit you must understand. Plantains are almost always cooked, and cooking changes everything. 1 cup of cooked mashed plantains contains 930 milligrams of potassium. That's nearly half your daily allowance if you're managing a strict 2,000 milligram limit. And when you fry or bake them into chips, you're evaporating the water that dilutes those minerals, leaving you with a potassium-dense crisp. That single cup suddenly represents about 45% of your entire day's budget, and that's before you add your main dish. And there's another hidden issue with commercial plantain chips. Frying doesn't decrease the potassium content, but it does add something else: sodium. Most store-bought chips pack 150 to 300 milligrams of sodium per serving. If you're managing both blood pressure and kidney disease, that's a double hit you don't need. So is there a way to still enjoy plantains? Yes, but it requires patience and a technique called double boiling, Research shows that boiling tuber cubes can decrease potassium levels by 50% and shredded pieces by up to 75%. Here's the method. Peel and slice the plantains thin, about 3 millimeters, to maximize surface area. Bring a large pot of water to a boil, add the slices, and boil for 10 minutes. Drain completely and discard that water. Refill the pot with fresh water, boil again, and cook until tender. That first water contains the extracted potassium. Never use it for soups or save it for anything else. If you're in stage 1 to 2 CKD with stable potassium levels and mild proteinuria, an occasional small serving of properly leached plantains, maybe half a cup, is manageable. But honestly, from stage 3 onward, this becomes a lot of work for a side dish. You're better off choosing naturally low potassium starches like white rice, pasta, or even mashed cauliflower. They'll satisfy that need for something filling without eating up your potassium budget or requiring 30 minutes of prep work. Save your energy for the foods that really matter to you. And hey, if this feels helpful so far, let us know you're out there by tapping that like button. It tells us to keep making content just like this. 1. Durian. At number 1 is the undisputed king of fruits, durian. Known for its overpowering aroma and rich custard-like flesh, it is revered across Southeast Asia as a supreme energy booster. Seniors often view it as a soft, easy-to-eat tonic for their health. But for a kidney patient, this fruit presents the highest level of risk on our list. Let's talk numbers first. Durian contains 436 milligrams of potassium per 100 grams of flesh. That's already higher than a banana at 422 milligrams per medium fruit, and most people with kidney disease already know to avoid bananas. Worse still, a typical serving of durian isn't 100 grams. When someone sits down with durian, they might easily eat 200 to 300 grams, delivering 870 to 1,300 milligrams of potassium in one sitting. That's more than half your daily allowance if you're on a 2,000 milligram restriction. And because durian's creamy, rich texture makes it so easy to eat, people often consume more than they realize. Before you know it, you've exceeded your daily potassium limit in a single sitting. A 2021 case report described a 79-year-old woman with diabetes and hypertension who presented with life-threatening hyperkalemia with potassium level of 8.1 millimoles per liter after eating a large amount of durian. Again, normal potassium runs 3.5 to 5.0 millimoles per liter. Above 6.0, you're in danger territory. At 8.1, her situation was critical. She had also been experiencing diarrhea, which had triggered acute kidney injury, making her unable to clear the massive potassium load from the durian. An earlier 2011 case involved a 48-year-old woman with kidney damage who was admitted with a heart attack after consuming durian. She had also missed her dialysis session by 1 day. Both patients survived with aggressive treatment, but these cases highlight how quickly durian can turn dangerous when kidney function is compromised. For anyone managing proteinuria, chronic kidney disease, or elevated creatinine, the message is clear. Durian is not worth the risk. If you're in stage 1 or 2 CKD with consistently normal potassium levels, a very small piece, maybe 50 grams, about 2 small pods, might be manageable on rare occasions. From stage 3 onward, especially stages 3B through 5, durian should be off your plate completely. There's no just a taste that's worth the cardiac risk. We call durian the king of fruits, but for kidney patients, it's more accurately the king of potassium-related emergencies. Curious about the science behind it all? We've linked the studies that support everything we've shared. You'll find them down in the description box. Let's take a deep breath. Facing all those warnings about high potassium and cardiac risks can feel heavy. It is completely natural to feel a little uneasy right now. You might look at your refrigerator and feel like it is a minefield rather than a source of nourishment. You might even be asking yourself, is there anything left that is actually safe to eat? But here is a different perspective. Think of the strict limits we just covered not as a burden, but but as a detailed map. Anxiety often comes from uncertainty. Now that you have identified the threats, you don't have to guess anymore. That knowledge isn't a restriction. It is the power of control. You are no longer navigating this journey blindfolded. But avoiding danger is only playing defense. To truly support your kidneys, we need to switch to offense. We are now moving from the fruits that burden your system to the ones that actively nurture it. Nature has provided a powerful lineup of heroes. These are not just safe fruits. They are functional tools designed to aid recovery and even help manage proteinuria. Quick reminder as we switch gears. Everything we're discussing today assumes you've had recent lab work and know your current potassium levels. If you haven't had labs in the past 3 to 6 months, talk to your doctor before making significant dietary changes. Your kidneys can change over time, and what was safe last year might need adjustment now. 4 fruits that can help fight proteinuria. 4. Lemon. Opening our list of heroes is a humble fruit you likely already have sitting in your fridge. Lemon. You might see it as just a garnish for tea or water, but for anyone managing kidney health, especially if you're dealing with kidney stones or proteinuria, this citrus fruit functions as a protective tool. Let's start with the basics. 1 medium lemon contains only about 15 calories and roughly 80 milligrams of potassium, a tiny, kidney-friendly amount that won't challenge your daily limits. And the real value lies in what lemons provide: citrate. Lemons contain the highest concentration of citric acid among common citrus fruits, about 49.2 grams per kilogram, which is roughly 5 times more concentrated than orange juice. When you consume lemon juice, your body converts that citric acid into citrate, which then travels through your bloodstream and into your urine. Once there, citrate acts like a chemical shield. It binds to calcium in your urine before that calcium can latch onto oxalate, preventing the formation of those painful calcium oxalate crystals that become kidney stones. But citrate does more than prevent stones. It also converts to bicarbonate in your body, which helps neutralize acid in your blood. For seniors with CKD, especially those experiencing the metabolic acidosis that often accompanies declining kidney function, this gentle alkalinizing effect can ease the burden on struggling kidneys and may even help slow the protein leak, proteinuria, that damages kidney filters over time. A 2007 study involving 30 patients with low urinary citrate found that consuming fresh lemon juice, about 85 milliliters or roughly 6 tablespoons daily, increased urinary citrate levels 2.5-fold after 3 months. While potassium citrate supplements worked slightly better, lemon juice offered a natural, accessible alternative without the gastrointestinal side effects some people experience with pills. A larger 2021 randomized trial followed patients for 2 years and found that fresh lemon juice supplementation showed promise in preventing stone recurrence, though the effect was limited by declining patient adherence over time. Quick translation: lemon therapy works if you actually stick with it. Start by mixing 4 fluid ounces of fresh lemon juice into 2 liters of water throughout your day. Don't chug it all at once. Sip steadily. This dilution protects your tooth enamel from acid erosion while maintaining steady citrate protection in your urine. Skip the sugar-loaded store-bought lemonade. Freshly squeezed or pure bottled lemon juice works best. This lemon water protocol is safe for stages 1 through 4 CKD. If you're in stage 5 or on dialysis with strict fluid restrictions, check with your care team. You might need to reduce the total volume to 1 liter instead of 2, but the concept stays the same. Dilute well, sip slowly. If you have acid reflux, GERD, or sensitive teeth, this much lemon might be uncomfortable. In that case, talk to your doctor about potassium citrate supplements as an alternative. 3. Blueberries. Blueberries are actually the undisputed gold standard of a renal diet. If you're managing proteinuria or worried about declining kidney function, these blue gems deserve a permanent spot in your grocery cart. 1 cup of fresh blueberries contains 114 milligrams of potassium and just 18 milligrams of phosphorus, both remarkably low for a fruit this nutrient-dense. That same cup delivers 84 calories, 3.6 grams of fiber, vitamin C, vitamin K, and practically no sodium. For seniors on fluid or mineral restrictions, blueberries are one of the safest, most forgiving fruits you can eat. But what makes blueberries special for kidneys isn't just the low mineral content. It's the anthocyanins, the deep blue pigments that give these berries their color, which reduce inflammation and promote kidney health. A 2022 study, published in the Journal of Translational Medicine, examined the effects of anthocyanin supplementation, specifically the predominant anthocyanin in blueberries, in diabetic kidney disease mice. The results showed that anthocyanin treatment reduced blood sugar levels, decreased the perimeter of glomerular lesions by 24.1 micrometers, and reduced the glomerular fibrosis score by 8.8%. This means the anthocyanins in blueberries appear to shrink kidney damage and reduce scarring at the microscopic level. 1 cup daily is perfectly safe and beneficial for people with CKD stages 1 to 3. This is one of your most protective fruit choices. For those at stage 4, 3/4 to 1 cup is still very manageable. The low potassium and phosphorus make this an excellent choice even as kidney function declines. At stage 5, one may need to limit to 1/2 to 3/4 cup, depending on their individual restrictions. Check with your renal dietitian, but most dialysis patients handle this amount well. If you want to enjoy blueberries, fresh is ideal. Just rinse and eat straight from the container. Frozen works beautifully and is often more affordable. They retain nearly all their anthocyanin content and make a great ice-cold snack on hot days. Add them to unsweetened yogurt, sprinkle over low-sodium oatmeal, blend into smoothies with almond milk, or bake into muffins. Yet note that heat reduces some anthocyanin content. You can even make a quick blueberry sauce by gently heating frozen berries until they break down, with no added sugar needed. 2. Raspberries. Arriving at number 2, we uncover a fruit that often lives in the shadow of the blueberry, yet holds a specific power its famous cousin lacks: red raspberries. While blueberries are general protectors, raspberries are on a targeted biological mission. If you're managing proteinuria or worried about kidney scarring, fibrosis, this is one berry you should know about. Raspberries contain a phytonutrient called ellagic acid, which helps neutralize free radicals and prevent cell damage. Raspberries also contain anthocyanins, the red pigment antioxidants that give the berries their color. But why does that matter for your kidneys? When kidney disease progresses, one of the main drivers of damage is fibrosis. Think of it like scar tissue forming on your skin after a deep cut, except it's happening inside your kidney's filtering units. This scarring is driven by a signaling molecule called TGF-beta, which tells cells to produce excessive collagen. The more collagen builds up, the stiffer and less functional your kidneys become. A 2024 study using a mouse model of kidney obstruction found that ellagic acid significantly reduced collagen deposition and fibrosis markers in damaged kidneys. Specifically, the compound blocked the transformation of normal kidney cells into scar-producing cells. In other words, ellagic acid appears to interrupt the very mechanism that causes kidney scarring. What makes raspberries special for those with CKD isn't just what they contain, but what they're low in. A 1-cup serving, about 123 grams, of fresh raspberries contains approximately 186 milligrams of potassium and 36 milligrams of phosphorus, both comfortably low numbers for kidney patients. That same cup delivers 8 grams of fiber, 32 milligrams of vitamin C, nearly half your daily needs, and barely any sodium. For seniors managing CKD, this makes raspberries one of the safest, most nutrient-dense fruits you can eat. Now, for stages 1 to 3 CKD, 1 cup of this fruit daily is perfectly safe and beneficial. The low potassium and phosphorus make this an excellent snack choice. Even for those with stage 4, 3/4 to 1 cup is still manageable. Monitor your individual lab results, but most stage 4 patients handle this amount well. Those at stage 5 CKD or on dialysis should limit to half to 3/4 cup daily, depending on your fluid and potassium restrictions. Check with your renal dietitian. Fresh raspberries are always best, just rinse and eat them. Frozen works too, and is often more affordable. Frozen raspberries retain their nutrient content and make a great cool treat on hot days. Add them to oatmeal, blend into a low-protein smoothie with almond milk, or top yogurt with a handful. You can even puree them into a simple dessert sauce. No added sugar needed. Let their natural sweetness shine through. 1. Wax apple. Number 1 brings us to a tropical gem that many people confuse with other fruits, the wax apple. Let's clear this up right away. We're talking about the bell-shaped fruit with thin, waxy skin, usually pink or red. Don't confuse this with the round, purple plum you find in standard grocery stores, or even the closely related rose apple. While they're cousins in the same plant family, wax apples have unique benefits for anyone managing kidney health or dealing with proteinuria. Here's why this fruit deserves attention. Wax apples are about 90% water by weight and contain only 25 to 30 calories per 100 grams. Think of it as edible water, a way to stay hydrated without flooding your system with heavy minerals or excess fluid volume all at once. Let's talk numbers. 100 grams of wax apple contains approximately 123 milligrams of potassium and only 1.14 milligrams of phosphorus. That's remarkably gentle on the kidneys. 2 medium wax apples, about 200 grams total, give you roughly 246 milligrams of potassium and about 180 milliliters of fluid. Compare that to drinking a full glass of water. The wax apple delivers that hydration slowly as you chew and digest, rather than hitting your system all at once. For seniors with advanced CKD who are on fluid restrictions, this slow-release hydration is a practical workaround. Your brain gets the satisfaction of eating something with substance, while your kidneys process the fluid gradually. The fruit also provides vitamin C, about 15 to 22% of your daily needs per 100 grams, and small amounts of fiber supporting immune function without mineral overload. Still, wax apples won't reverse kidney damage or eliminate proteinuria, but they offer a smart, refreshing way to stay hydrated and satisfied without compromising your mineral balance. For stages 1 through 3 CKD, 2 fruits daily fit comfortably into most meal plans. The potassium is low enough not to cause concern. Stage 4 patients can usually handle 1 to 2 as well, given the gentle mineral profile. For stage 5 and dialysis patients on strict fluid limits, say 1 liter daily, check with your care team. Those 2 wax apples represent about 180 milliliters of your allowance, which might be manageable or might be too much depending on your individual restrictions. Everyone's limit is different, so personalize this advice to your situation. If you're battling dry mouth after dialysis or from medications, slice wax apples and chill them in the fridge. The cold, crisp texture stimulates your salivary glands, providing relief without reaching for extra fluids. You can find these at most Asian grocery stores, often labeled as rose apple or wax jambu. Takeaway. We started this journey by looking at the grocery store as a minefield, a place where hidden potassium dangers like tamarind lie in wait. But looking back at the 4 heroes we've just discovered, the picture changes completely. You are no longer walking blindfolded. You are walking with a map. The real takeaway tonight isn't about restriction. It is about strategy. It is not about stopping. It is about swapping. You are trading the overwhelming risk of the durian for the active shield of the wax apple. You are exchanging the heavy load of the banana for the cellular protection of the berry. In that simple swap, You move from anxiety to control. You are taking back authority over your health one bite at a time. But every journey needs a first step. So tell me, which of these smart swaps will you try first? Are you ready to trade your morning banana for a bowl of blueberries? Or will you start the lemonade therapy protocol tomorrow? Please, make a commitment to yourself in the comments below. Naming your choice is the most powerful way to make it stick. We read every single comment, and we are cheering for you. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with one critical reminder. This video provides education, not individualized medical advice. Your individual lab values matter most. If your potassium is already elevated, even low-potassium fruits need to be monitored carefully. If your phosphorus is high, portion sizes become critical. Always check your most recent blood work and work with your healthcare team to personalize these recommendations to your specific situation. We want to thank you for being here, for listening, for having the courage to embark on this journey of discovering what truly benefits your health. A journey that isn't easy but is worth more than anything else. Hit the bell icon and turn on all notifications so you never miss a life-saving video. The sooner you spot kidney issues, the more you can do to keep things under control. If you're unsure about your kidney health and haven't been in a good shape recently, check out the video on the screen. Here, we cover all the possible symptoms, helping you spot kidney failure and take action effectively if needed. See you there. Stay informed, stay healthy.